love is what I need. Your love's what I need. Your love is what I need.
Oh yeah, Marcus, you got us jamming, my guy. Got us jamming. I'm gonna give it a couple of more minutes, and then we'll get started. We'll get started. All right, all right. All right, here we go. Here we go. Thank you, Marcus, for having us live. We live on YouTube. We live on Instagram. And I just want to thank y'all each for just coming out and viewing what we have here, what we got going on here down here in the Smart Center. And so, greetings to you all, and welcome back to Visions and Voices, Unearthing Black Brilliance. And today we have someone special, someone who is laser focused when it comes to artificial intelligence and how it could be considered an expert in the realms of AI. She has been at the forefront for advocating for artificial intelligence alongside our beloved Dr. Robbie Melton, and has been really hands on with the innovative tool and with the innovative learning experiences that she has constructed alongside with AI. So, may I introduce you to Dr. Denise Malloy, who will be presenting Authentic Echoes.
Thank you, guys.
And today, we will look into her processes behind her art, unearth the mental faculties of her masterpieces, and really get into the field of why AI from her own point of view. So, Dr. Malloy, before we get started, do you have anything you want to say or anything you want to share before we get started?
Sure. Thank you. I think this is a great place and platform for you to let us show what we do in terms of AI and artwork. I appreciate the time, and I am looking forward to having a chat with you.
Oh yes, oh yes. I'm gonna dive in. I'm gonna get into the nitty gritties of the deep end. So we'll just get started right now. So can you briefly just introduce yourself and give me like your artistic background and your artistic practice of what you do with AI and how AI has blended its way into your art?
Okay. So I am executive director of training for HBCU Code and Create. Um, in 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 my um, in my role, I am kind of dabbling in AI with the art side of it. Um, my role is actually to train faculty and students how to use technology. And AI is just one aspect of the technologies that we're looking forward to helping people understand and to know and get their feet wet, get their hands dirty, so to speak. Um, in terms of my artwork, I don't really see myself so much as an artist as much as I see myself as an interpreter of what I see going on around me. So what AI does for me is to create a space for me to speak my truth. And in the images that I create, it's how I get to say what I want to say in totality.
Right.
Um, yeah, and so often, you only have a few seconds to say your elevator speech or whatever, but with AI, I get to create and recreate and kind of
Keep
embellish on whatever I'm creating so that I feel like I said what I wanted to say. I see what I want to see, and my truth as I see it speaks out.
right. And I hear you. I heard the word safe space. I really actually love that word because a safe space in the art realm is literally everything. Um, when we deal with artists, we are usually dealing with introverts, and so for them to actually have a safe space to where they can showcase their art or really just tell the public or their audience how they feels, that's like a 5 pound brick because of the introvertness and the fearful the what is it called, it's called a syndrome, it's called a I forgot the term, but it's called a syndrome, an imposter syndrome. As artists we have imposter syndrome to where we actually doubt ourselves a lot more than the regular person because we have so much internal stuff just built in, and we often criticize and judge ourselves more than critics do. And I like that safe space because it actually provides us with a space to where we can showcase our art, showcase our work without being feared of being judged or stuff like that. So I like that. And AI has made artists, well, for me, AI has made me a better artist because now I get to see what the possibilities and the capabilities that AI has, and I can add it to my repertoire as an artist. So I like what you're doing here. It's just that we are just scratching the surface of what AI could do and what art could possibly transform into. So now I just want you to describe your medium and your process. So like describe just like when you're prompting, right? What do you necessarily go through? What are the thought processes when you're prompting?
Oh, that's a great question. Um, I like to mix and blend the types of media within AI if I can kind of use that as a kind of a jumping off space here. Um, I like to learn about other artists that I've never heard of before, but I start to learn how they produce their art. So, for example, painters, I don't know a lot about the different painters. So, I come to know someone like, let's say, Salvador Dali or Wasley Kandinsky. And everybody's heard of the other faces like Picasso and Monet and Rembrandt and all that kind of stuff. But what would happen if you mix the or blend the artistry of those and create a scene? What would that look like? And so that's what I do with my art. I reach out and see, well, what would it look like if I created something that's a blend of all of these artists that may not have had the same kind of thought processes when they were painting. And then sometimes I think about, well, because I do like photography, what would it look like if you had a photograph and one of those painters painted over that photograph? What would that look like?
Mhm.
So I like to blend because I think that blending is a way of being more creative, and it kind of satisfies something within me, where I don't think that I'm all one way or think all one way. So I want to see what it looks like when I combine some of those things
Right,
together.
right. And when you're combining art, right, what honestly does how does it make you feel? I know that I know based off what you said, like it satisfies you. Does that like kind of satisfy like your craving for learning more art or learning to know more people and see their style and actually incorporate it in yours, or take more artists and blend them together even more?
Well, actually, it's a combination of that and creating moods.
Mhm.
Um,
Bingo.
Sometimes I prompt with a mood in mind, and sometimes I don't. I want to see what it will generate and say to me,
Mhm.
and does it speak to me? And a lot of my art, it speaks to me, um, and I speak back to it by prompting it to do something more or different, or maybe I'll ask it to show me something in a specific type of genre, such
Mhm.
as pop art, for example. Um, and then I wonder sometimes, what would pop art look like if it's blended with, something else like real photography, or some painters, you know, um, way of painting. But it I want sometimes to be able to express a mood,
Mhm.
and I think that this helps me a lot because sometimes you can't express your mood, not out loud, but you can do it in your artwork.
Right. And then it's crazy because I was just having a conversation probably what 2 days ago about how now how novice could get into their creative zones. And I often say start off with your moods and how you feel, because those are like reference points like you can always go back to and you can always create from. And then it alleviates that creative's block, that writer's block. It gives you more access to be creative and access to more artists to adapt to when it comes to creating art. So I see like a lot of painting and a lot of like pop colors. Is that like what you're solely focused on when you're making or when you're prompting your artwork?
Yes, you'll see some dark colors too, because to me, you hide your darkness
Mhm.
and you show your pop. In this particular, mm, I guess you would call it painting here or picture here. It's like y- different feelings coming out simultaneously. So
Mhm.
there's something in the face of the woman whose eyes are open. She's knowing, and she's understanding of things that are around her, and yet she's feeling something different than the pretty stuff that's all around her.
Right.
And then the other picture where the woman is her eyes are closed, she's she's almost in nirvana,
Mhm.
with where she is, and she's okay with who she is, what she looks like, and her being. And so those two pictures, to me, they speak to me because that's who I think at the base I am.
Mhm.
I am not one. red person,
Right.
where you see someone who's always cheerful and happy, and everything's happy go lucky and all that other kind of stuff. Some days I am seeing more than I'm letting other people know. And, but yet I still have to wear this other face
Mhm.
where everything's fine, fine. But sometimes, you can be going through some things and other people don't know it. So,
Right. Right.
yeah.
And we have a question from Miss Trudy Thomas. She says, "I love the art and I like the tip. Hide your darkness and pop your light." She asks, "What AI tool did you use to create your images?"
Ah, that most of my AI images I create in Midjourney. Now, some of them I create in other, but I use I play around in about 11 different um,
Man.
mediums.
Ooh.
Well, not mediums, but these I do in Midjourney, because Midjourney does a better job at producing images of African Americans than the others do. You're going to get more accurate results from them, more results that are expected
Mhm.
than from some of the other ones. Some of the others, you have to crop out because you'll have like seven arms, or an extra leg here or there, or a third eye coming out the side of your head or something. But I love Midjourney, and it takes a little bit more prompting in there, but I get what I want from Midjourney.
Okay, great, great. I see that. I heard you say that you like creating images in the likeliness of us. How does that kind of fuel your inspiration, and does that is that like a basis of your influence?
Yes, because I want to show people in their every day. I want to show who we are authentically when no one is looking.
Mhm.
Um, I could always go in and type in maybe a name of someone who's famous, and the model may or may not be trained well enough to give me exactly who I asked for. For example, if I typed in, let's just say Muhammad Ali, I may or may not get a likeness of Muhammad Ali. But if I type, you know, a woman or a man who, and then, you know, describe a scene or something like that, I'm likely to get something that is real looking
Right.
and authentic looking. So that's what
Yes,
I do.
because I was looking through your photo gallery, and I love the love images that you created with the man and the woman. It just really like speaks to me because we really don't see. I mean, I don't want well, I don't want to like kind of generalize that we don't see love in our community, but it's like pulling teeth, trying to see that image of the cohesiveness between one another, and the beauty of it, the lights, the shading, and how authentic it is to see that love between one another. It kind of inspires me to really just stay on the pathway that I live on, which is to walk the path of love, and to walk with sincerity and empathy and sympathy. Um, I love those images. And could you like really explain how love actually influences your work as well?
Well, like you say, you don't see it because that's not what our media throws out at us. So often we have images of, like, you know, uh, misogynist kind of images,
Mhm.
um, and images of women and men arguing all, and not showing their best, selves.
Right.
So that's why you miss it in the other cells. And that's what people actually believe. But I don't like it that people believe that. They need to be shown other images so that they would know that those things are true, more true than the commercialized misogynistic kind
Mhm.
of images that we get, in that people of our race, we do love, and we do love genuinely, not just uh, because someone has an expensive car or expensive watch or expensive clothes, but it's genuine. And in some of the images that you see, you can see the genuineness
Mhm.
of the, not just love, but there's the underlying friendship there too,
Right.
that bonds people. And so you can see like that it's kind of timeless. The more time you spend with people, the more you bond with them,
Right.
and you see those in those images.
And then it looks like there is no time circulated around them. It just looks like they're in the eternal now, the internal present moment, and
Yeah.
that's and I love like when I read or when I do like some of my self help, my programming. That's what I like lean more towards into more of the timeless concepts and the motifs centered around love, not only just love with a partner, but love on many different levels that's varying, not only with myself, not only with a partner, but more so with my artistic and my practice. That's what I really love about creating. I
Mhm.
have this non-stop like hunger, like it's just like I'm never satisfied with what I'm creating. I'm always wanting to do more and more and more and create more and just really be limitless in what I am creating. So, and I see that a lot with those pieces. I see like with the jazz piece right here, how timeless we sing the same song, but you don't see how spans from one generation to the next generation and how it has an interconnectedness with it, and which makes it timeless and limitless. So, yes, it's oh, I'm loving this podcast right here.
And
And
I
so,
like the jazz piece too, because that one song can be sang or played so many different ways, and you
right,
still get a beautiful harmony out of it. And that's true about us, as a people. We have a similar background, but we're not monolithic. We come from different tribes, but we share some of the same um energy, some of the same history, but the way that we go about our day, it's played out, the same and different,
right.
because you know we are wherever we are, in terms of gender, in terms of social class, in terms of position on our jobs. We are, we move in the same direction. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yes. So, speaking of moving in the same direction, um, when you create, and when you're in your creative zone, your theta state, that's what we call it as artists. Um, what is your intentions? What message are you trying to convey, not only to the public, to the audience, but more so to yourself as an artist first, and then to the public?
I'm glad you asked that question in that way, because it comes from within, in terms of what is it that I want to say. And when I create things, I'm thinking, okay, am I going to say something that's kind of political? Am I going to say something that's kind of analytical? Am I going to say something that's just for real me?
Right.
And so sometimes it's a blending of all of those things. I have a piece that's called "Screaming in the Wind" or "In the Storm," and so you can see that in terms of maybe a political piece. a historical piece or a personal piece.
Mhm.
And it's just, whatever piece you want it to be, that's what it is. But it comes from within. It is authentic. It is for and about me, and then whatever someone feels about it is about, that's on them.
Right.
You know,
That's on them. Yeah, you're right.
that's
You're
yeah.
absolutely right. So, when it comes to like the younger generation and the new generation of creatives, what advice could you instill into them as far as like continuing their journey, not looking at failures as a sign of failure, but as a sign of growth and as a sign of to for room for improvement? What advice could you give these young creators and generators?
Be your authentic self. Not everybody's going to get you, but you get you.
Right.
Be genuine and true to who you are and what you do, and just stay real to that.
And that question, I wouldn't say it's a two-sided question, not a two-sided question, but a two-step question. So the second part of that question would be, why do you make your art? What is the soulful purpose of you going within and manifesting like a magician, um, whatever you're feeling inside, and you're pulling it out to the open, out to the world to see? Why do you do that?
Because it lets me say what I want to say, how I want to say it, and
Mhm.
when I want to say it. Um, you know, you always have to be on filter, so to speak.
Right.
But in your art, in your authentic self, you're you don't you don't think about the filter.
Mhm.
You have the freedom to be who you are. You have the freedom to speak your mind. You have the freedom to just be. And
Mm,
so that's what I like about AI. It helps me to do that. Without AI, I couldn't be considered an artist. And
mhm.
I feel like compared to someone like yourself, I'm not. I am just an expressionist, is what I am. I just express myself through this medium, and it gives me a way to do that. So
So do you find some like type of because me, when I look at art, I look at art as a therapeutic session for me. Well, that's really why most of my art is like a basis for me, because it's therapy for me. Like, um when I say therapy, I means I'm able to not only just um become a outlet, but I'm more so reflecting. Um, I'm reflecting more about myself than I would if I wasn't making art. So, how do you use your art? Do you use it for like therapeutic qualities, or just to be yourself, your authentic self, as you said already?
I do. I like your interpretation of yourself. You are a reflector, and that's what AI lets me do too. It lets me to reflect, um, and to project as well, so
Mhm.
that I don't just just sometimes you want to say something and you don't know how to say it,
Mhm.
and you don't know who you can say it to. And so, what the AI art does for me is to open those doors, let me step in, let me be in the room with
Mhm.
myself. And once I'm in that room, you know, I could start like at 10 o'clock at night, and then I'm realized it's 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm still talking, you know, and it's kind of like talking to yourself. You
Right.
you really don't mind it because the person you're talking to is always going to be in agreement. You don't have to
Right.
argue with them. So it's like that. It's an awareness that you come to,
Hmm.
and allows for you to be who you are without
And then,
having to put on stuff
right,
to
a
be
whole
accepted.
costume to
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Put on a whole costume just to like just to
That's
survive. And it's crazy because as I've been learning and my journey throughout my lifetime that I don't necessarily have to wear a costume anymore. Um I'm always being me, I'm always being my true authentic self, and I'm always expressing my inner childhood because uh as a people, we kind of struggle with our inner childhoods, not only with the stuff that we come up with, the traumas that we come up with from our inner childhoods, but us actually not reflecting, but facing those fears, facing those traumas. We don't have any direction of where we need to go, and I feel like art is
yeah.
a path. It's a literal path to where you could take something that you're feeling inside and you can bring it right out, and you can do that over and over and over until you feel good again about your child, your inner childhood, and you as an individual in the now, in the present. And then it just literally catapults you into what you could possibly do, or what you, or the possibilities that you can create in the future.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. You don't have to worry about that filter that that someone grabbing you by the shoulder and pulling you back. You could just run out.
And actually be free, because when I found art, like I've been doing art since I was a kid, so it naturally has been able to come to me. And my grandmother will tell you, when I was like a kid, I used to draw shoes, I used to draw clothes and stuff like that. And I lost it. Like in my high school days, I really wasn't focused on my art, but like my senior year, I really tapped back into it, and was like, I'm really good at this. Like, why didn't I capitalize on this when I should have been? So now that I've been aware of that, I'm now, not now, but I've been capitalizing on it. And I've just been seeing more people. I've been making more connections. And I've just been exposed to a lot more opportunities by doing what I love to do. And that's what's great about why I like art. Like, it's like this podcast right here. When I think of this, I see it as, people just see it as an interview process, but I see it as a longevity thing, to where this could be a continuance of things, and I could literally build a ecosystem or a community of artists, interviewing artists, not only getting their perspective, but I can also make a coalition on to what we can present to the public, present to the community, or just start organizations or foundations, stuff like that. I'm really thinking like long term when it comes to this stuff, because it's not only helping, but it's a transformational tool, and it's technology.
Yes.
Art is technology. If you rather, people don't really see it as technology, but back when we didn't have computers or cell phones like that, we were able to convey messages, or psychology or philosophy, just through our art. And so yeah, it's a lot. I can keep going on and on and on about it. And so my question to you is, why AI? How do you use it to leverage not only your professional work, but you personally?
Oh, great question. Well, let's go with professionally first. It takes a lot of the hard work out of the work, out of the job. It makes it easier for you to do things a little bit faster. Well, for me, I just speak for me. Um, it makes it so that I can become more creative in how I present certain uh, aspects of my job. It helps me to be able to help other people to learn how to make their technological lives um, mm, much more easier for them,
Mhm.
to put it into their perspective. AI will allow for you to do that, definitely, so that it's not just above your head all the time, whatever it is that you're doing on the technical side, and especially if you are new to some technological learning tool that you're using.
Mhm.
AI will help you break it down so that it's in your corner so you can understand it better.
Right.
Now, personally, um, when I learned about AI, um, it was something that just gave me curiosity about it, and then I just followed that curiosity and just tried different things to see, what works, what doesn't work. Um, does this text prompt, give me what I want? How do I get it to give me what I want? What am I not expressing well enough?
Right.
And then if I'm not expressing something well enough to get what I want, I'll ask AI, how do I do that?
Right.
How do I express this, or how do I get the prompt? What's the best prompt to get to write to get whatever? And it does that. And that's personally, and that's on in par with what I do for work as well.
Right. And then
So yeah.
you kind of like hit it like with the nail in the coffin with the curiosity standpoint. Um, I say that I love that point because when we curious and when we have that light bulb, when we have that light bulb and it just takes us into a realm to where it's an aha moment. And
Hmm.
those aha moments are very transformational because not only does it shifts your thought processes, but it can actually shift your paradigm, your lifetime paradigm,
Hmm.
in a direction that you didn't even know that you even wanted to go in. So speaking like for myself, when I told my mom about AI and the stuff that I was showing her, like how we can use it on a business level, how we can use it on an educational level, and then how we can use it on a personal level. She was just like, just riddled. Like, I'm ready. Just, what you finna show me? Okay. And like the next day, she sent me because we was working on like a just a prototype, just doing like brainstorming for
Hmm.
like business platforms for her line, and she was like, Man, I love this thing. This is so quick. This is so easy. She got her link up. She got her website to her business, just all through using AI. And
Hmm.
that's what I love about it because it sparks that curiosity. It also makes you feel young again. It makes you feel like you're just playing with a toy. Like
Uh-huh.
this is our new age toy now. Like when kids see this, they think of toys as like action figures and stuff like that. But as a grown adult, I see this as a toy that I can create from, that I can monetize off of, and that I could be a community leader and reach people that don't even know about AI or people who fear AI because we have a lot of
Right.
the stigma about how AI is doing this, how AI is doing that. When if you were educated about AI, you wouldn't really necessarily look at it as a fear factor, but you'll use this as a tool factor. So yes,
Hmm. Hmm.
yes. But yes, I love. We're gonna pull up some pieces as well. It'll be about 4 or 8. You can elaborate on how many as you want to is up to you. But we're gonna pull some pieces up right here on the side and just briefly explain and go in depth of how you created this, why you created this, and what mood or what did you feel when you were creating this.
Okay, so with this one, this was more of a kind of a blended style of pop art, and I think it was Kandinsky. I think it was Kandinsky that I used just to blend it, and I wanted it to show, um, you know, people together, but they're not doing the same thing.
Right.
You know, um, they are uh, they are at peace with themselves,
Mm.
and they are um, part of something that may be revolutionary. You
Right.
know, so that's what I was thinking when I was creating this one, and that's what I wanted that to say. I want it to be positive, and I wanted it to say something strong and
Right.
um, you know, artistic.
And when you say revolution, I see art as being a revolution. Not only like a political revolution, but more so an internal fight, not fight, but an internal stigma of just now awakening up to our full potential.
Hmm.
That's the revolution that I'm talking about. Just showing how much we could be, showing how vast we are, and just defying the limitations that were put on us as a people, and the mindset that we have. And I have another one for that right here.
I like that. And revolution doesn't necessarily have to mean a fight, a
Right.
war. It could mean just a change. And so that's what AI is doing.
Mhm.
This is creating another kind of technological revolution
Right.
for us, and we're in a different kind of stage of our collective lives. Whatever racial, social, cultural, ethnic, or religious background you happen to be affiliated with,
Mhm.
we're in this. We're in the I can't say in the middle, but we're in the first stages of a change that's revolutionizing our lives, and AI is that driving force for it. Okay, for these photos, those are blended images with different stylistic forms of art, painting. Um, I don't think I had. I don't think I put the prompt in there for pop art for this one, but it was just different painters. Um, I think it was a mixture of Monet. Um, I know I love Wadsley Kandinsky, so I know he was in there in that. Edward Monk.
Mhm.
Uh, um, um, I'm not sure. I don't think um, it could have been. No, I don't know if I prompted it for Rembrandt. I can't remember, but I do know that it was a mix of a lot of those different artists,
Mhm.
and I I I prompted for colorful, clothing or headdress and African American. And whenever I prompt, I have to insert African American or Uzuri.
Mm.
So to get a brown person
Person, yeah.
in the.
And though that is like one of some of the large language models limitations,
Hmm.
when we look at us and trying to create an image out of our likeness. That's like one of the ongoing issues that large language models have in their algorithm, trying to personify us and trying to give us a story without us telling our own truth and our own story. And that's why that's the limitation right there.
Okay. All
Screaming.
right, for this one, these two, these
Yeah.
were definitely blended artistic styles of um, Picasso,
So
Monet, Rembrandt. I know Salvador Dali, um,
looks like a little baby.
Kandinsky, and Monk. All of those, because I wanted to see, some of them painted with very bright colors, um, and some of them painted with dark colors, and some of them were heavy-handed on their paint or their acrylic, or I'm not sure exactly what they called it, but I'm going to call it paint. And that's what this is all about. And these are the two that I was talking about, screaming in storms. You might have a lone person that's trying to make a statement and no one else knows it. You know how loud storms can be, and the storms can be political, the storms can be historical, the storms can be a literal storm,
Right.
or the storms can be internal. But nevertheless, you feel alone when you're in the middle of it
Mhm.
sometimes, when you're going through something. And then for uh, an entire group of people like African Americans, our storms that we've weathered historically, culturally, politically, socially, you know, we've come out of them, and we're still in them, if you can kind of wrap your head around that.
Right.
Um, and so that's what these speak to me and say to me, um, that even through those storms, you can still see something that's beautiful that comes out of them.
Right. Exactly. Thank you, Dr. Malloy. To conclude, do you have anything you want to um, articulate or talk about on your artistic journey and your future goals with your art?
First, I want to say thank you for allowing me this space and time and place to explain my art, or myself. I think that where I want to go from it is just to grow more and get deeper into um, learning who Denise is from inside out. So I'm going to let me be my authentic self and say my authentic words within those art pieces.
Thank you
That's
so
what I want
much.
to say.
Thank you so much. And Marcus, do you want to close it out for us?
I wanted you to close it out, but
Oh, my bad, my bad.
that's okay. So we want to thank Dr. Malloy again for coming and experience and helping us to experience art in a totally different venue through artificial intelligence. So Dr. Malloy will have her exhibit all this week, from February 12th to February 17th, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can come down and visit the Smart Center at the Downtown Avon Williams Campus of Tennessee State University. And her title or her subtitle for our exhibit is Authentic Echoes, Visions of Heritage in AI Black History Month. She has some amazing, amazing pieces. You saw some of those today, but we definitely want you to come down to experience some of the amazing pieces and immerse yourself in her beautiful art and in the vision and voices that she is putting forth. So we want to thank you, Dr. Malloy, for coming out, and thank you to Dr. Glover, Dr. Melton, Dr. Chisholm for giving us this great outlet to be able to put forth creativity through artificial intelligence.
Right. And blackness with its creative aspects to one another. So thank you all. Thank you for coming out and listening to our podcast. And we'll see you on the next one.
Have a good day, everyone.